Welcome to Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, where it's a cold and rainy day. We're at Goodman Stadium, home of Bethlehem Steel FC, as they get ready to host FC Cincinnati. And we're thrilled to have you along for the ride with Devin Kerr. I'm Drew Felios. Let's size up the Eastern Conference, look at the unbeaten teams. And so far, one thing we know, Louisville City still the class of the East.
Fortunately enough, they're still up there. Had a scare yesterday taking on the Richmond Kickers, but George Davis was able to rescue James O'Connor and the boys in purple in extra time, getting them out of there with a victory 2-1. And how about Bob Lilly and that squad coming over from Rochester Rhinos, doing a good job so far, 1-0 versus Ottawa. And keep an eye on Atlanta United too. Interestingly enough, they're up there with that graphic. They've only played 3 games. They're on a bye week, and they're going to need it. Next week, they're going to be hosting the boys in purple, Louisville City.
All right, Cincinnati comes in here today. They've shuffled the lineup just a little bit. Emery Welshman coming off a stint in Puerto Rico last season, just waiting to break out.
Hey, you're spot on there, Drew. And interestingly enough, he's a journeyman. He's bounced around the United States. He's bounced around Canada. But like you said, he had a solid season last year with Puerto Rico FC, and he'd really like to continue the tutelage underneath Alan Koch, moving his career down the line for the Orange and Blue.
And for Bethlehem Steel, Corey Burke really made his presence felt in extra time against Charleston.
And his journey with these guys in the Union and Bethlehem Steel started back in 2016. He came over on loan from Rivoli United, the famed squad out of Jamaica, and since then he's slowly progressed. Started off as a loan, made it permanent in 2017, and because of his excellent play over the past few seasons, the Union have rewarded him with a first-team contract. So he's going to step down, trying to get some reps here this evening, and talking about continuing his career on. He's got a pretty nice one ahead of him, hopefully.
Goodman Stadium was not kind to FC Cincinnati in 2017. As Cincinnati lost twice here in this venue. Bit of a revenge game here this afternoon. Bethlehem Steel and FC Cincinnati coming up next from Bethlehem, Pennsylvania.
Our family would do without TiVo. It doesn't matter if a show is live, on demand, or even streaming from Netflix. No more juggling remotes, switching inputs, or guessing who has the show or movie we want to watch, because it's all on one box. TiVo has great apps like Plex, which lets us stream home videos and music from our computers and phones. And with kid-friendly apps like Toon Goggles, I feel safe giving the kids a little TV freedom. And I can enjoy mine too.
It can happen over time or in a snap. If joint or muscle pain has taken you out of the game, we can identify the root cause of your problem and develop a sport-specific treatment plan to get you moving again. Over 400 medical experts strong, the region's only nationally ranked program. That's Orthopedics in Action at Lehigh Valley Health Network.
Getting set for FC Cincinnati battling the Bethlehem Steel. Drew Felios alongside Devin Kerr. And let's introduce you to the lineups first for FC Cincinnati. Few changes in this lineup. Devin, what really stands out to you?
Well, interestingly enough, FC Cincinnati really hasn't produced a lot of goals in the first 3 games. You know, they had that rough one versus Lou City that you and I were chatting about, and they've only put up 2. He's made changes offensively in the likes of Daniel Hebert and Nazmi Al-Badawi, and something to keep in your mind. Now, they were 11th in scoring last year, and he's trying to make these moves to produce more goals, but they also ended up with a -2 goal differential, giving up 48 goals, and that was good for 20th defensively. So it's kind of tit for tat. Going forward, you want to produce more, but you have to make sure that you stay coming back and give up less goals.
Meanwhile, Bethlehem. Take a look at their starters, and Josh Yaro gets the start on the back line. That was a late change. How is that going to affect the overall product?
Well, that's a first-team center back for the Philadelphia Union, and Tim Curtin wants to make sure that he gets him recovered. He's been dealing with a right abductor strain, and he wants to get him fresh and healthy for the first team. Don't be surprised if you only see him go 45 to 60 minutes here, as they're just trying to get him reps. And also jump over to number 63, Brendan Aronson. This kid is 17 years old. He's making his third appearance for the squad. Went 90 minutes last year twice. Tampa Bay Rowdies and Rochester. We're not exactly sure what sort of limit Burke is going to put on him here this evening, but the combination with Santi Morrow and Corey Burke, little trifecta up top, could be very prevalent for the Bethlehem Steel.
Bethlehem starting 11 brought to you by Lehigh Valley Health Network. And we are set to go. Here's you get a look at the Bethlehem Steel 1-2-1, 4 points on the season. This is their 5th match, scored 5 goals, conceded 5 as well, but Devin, only 1 goal in the past 3 matches. No doubt head coach Brendan Burke wants to see a spark in the offense. They have got to take advantage of their chances today.
Well, and the statistics that you just pointed out, although extremely accurate, are also frustrating because they're not exactly the best representation of what his squad has done. Came right out of the gate, dropped Richmond Kickers down 4-1, and then they traveled to Tampa Bay Rowdies, and Brendan Burke telling us, give credit to the Rowdies. They put on a solid exhibition. There was really about a 10-minute span where they let their defensive guard down. They ended up losing 2-0, but the Rowdies got the best of them. But as you continue down that path, Nashville, frustrating one. Got a red card early on in the game. Nashville rewarded with the PK, jumps out to a 1-0 lead, and the Steel just couldn't really get anything going into the back of the net. And then last week for the Battery, able to fight and keep it close 1-1, but again, maintaining most of the possession, just couldn't finish their opportunities.
And for Bethlehem, one thing that we have learned in this team's young history, using different lineups week in and week out has become customary. How about 64 different starting lineups in 66 all-time matches? No franchise in USL does it more.
And that's going to be difficult from a scouting perspective, but you know, this organization, the Union, Bethlehem Steel, and Reading United below them in the PDL, they've got a greater goal in mind. They want to get these guys experience, get them reps that are similar and accustomed to the system of the first team, because the growth of the game for them within the organization, that's the final goal, is to continue to push these guys forward and give them an opportunity to shine at the highest level.
FC Cincinnati wearing the away whites today. Get a look at Emery Welshman, player we talked about in the Open. Stint in Puerto Rico last year, also played with Real Salt Lake back in 2016, and we are underway from Goodman Stadium. Sit back and enjoy, should be fun. And for Bethlehem, this is also the 3rd game in a 3-game homestand. Well, they were very strong last year, playing FC Cincinnati here at home. FC Cincinnati has had a very good week of training. Alan Koch talked about that earlier this week. And, you know, Devin, you have to wonder what the emotional state is for this Cincinnati team. And I say that because you come off a loss to Louisville. Granted, they are the champions of the league, but that was such an emotional high that they were on at Nippert last week.
And the River City rivalry always produces great matches. And like you said, playing in front of a crowd of 20,000 plus, especially when you're at home and unfortunately going down, that takes a lot of emotion out of you. People always talk about how difficult this game is from a physical standpoint, but they forget the attrition that takes its total toll on your body in general, top to bottom, left to right. And to recover like that and come back and then have to come on travel on the road, it's a big thing for them. But that's something to keep an eye on as well, because last year they were so good at home, 8-2-6, but as they traveled abroad, only 4-8-4. So they need to be able to steal some points when they come on trips like this.
Cincinnati possessing here early. Far side of the field now. Dustin Hoyt will throw it in. Al-Badawi sends it upfield. And Bethlehem will play it now from the back. Collected by FC Cincinnati. And now an early chance. Shot from straight on. And that one was screaming as John McCarthy, lucky that time that was not squared up. The blast by Corbin Bone.
Corbin Bone teed that one up from about 25, 30 yards out. And you saw John McCarthy sliding over. Got to wonder If Corbin Bone tried to put a left dip on that ball. Again, the element's going to come into play here this afternoon. Had a touch of rain, a little bit spot and go. And that's something that's going to affect the movement. John McCarthy got to keep his eye on that one to make sure he keeps the ball in front of him. Try and not give up too many opportunities and rebounds.
Santee Moar getting the start. That is great to see for this Bethlehem team as they try and muster their first shot atop the 18. It was deflected and wound up in the hands of Evan Newton. Mentioned FC Cincinnati did not get a victory here in this venue last year. They did win 2-1 at Nippert Stadium, their home, over this Bethlehem team. But just imagine, though, also talk about the emotion, Devin. Also, just change of environment. You go from playing in front of 25,000 to today, the crowd significantly a fraction of that here this afternoon. FC Cincinnati trying to get this one in range. They set up the header, and that was well designed. John McCarthy was on his toes, though, and nicely done by Welshman.
Welshman, just difficult ball and in-swinging ball, and you're trying to flick that to the back post. Ball's got to be served a little bit harder, but it's an excellent overlapping run from the left back, Justin Hoyt. You can see the marking in the little bit, not tight enough. John McCarthy, that's got to start from the back from a communication standpoint. He's got to be very vocal with his boys, keep them organized. And FC Cincinnati likes to push forward and go with numbers, go quick. So in transition, still need to stay a little bit tighter.
Matt Mahoney tosses it in. Now Derek Jones on the far side. Jones has a goal this season. Scored in that first game against Richmond. Welshman again being very aggressive here in the opening minutes. Crosses one on, and this one is put out by Chaluya, who is in position. Ledesma, good touch. And now Corbin Bone again. Good cohesion early on from FC Cincinnati. Looked very calm, very organized here on the road. Justin Hoyt trying to win it back, and it slides across the touchline on the far side. Talked with Brendan Burke earlier this week, head coach of Bethlehem, and he talked about how Bethlehem has just given up several goals this year and several careless goals, Devin, and they cannot allow that to happen today. You can sense that FC Cincinnati knows that as they are stepping on the gas pedal here early.
And that's a big thing, you know, in that conversation, also referencing that they're not going to stray away from what their overall goal is, which is why they play a similar system to the first team. And if they put themselves behind the 8 ball early on, you're already dealing with the disadvantage of an age. You know, you're getting all of these young players a lot of experience, and they're going to stick to that. Rightfully so. It's given them success at the higher level. But you've also got to limit exactly what views and looks you're giving the opposition. So like you said, Drew, you want to limit those with FC Cincinnati because Alan Koch has these guys very organized and they're going to go on a regular basis.
Marcus Epps, young man out of Jackson, Mississippi. Here's Epps. And now the steal, trying to move forward. Ball gets away though, into the back line of Cincinnati. FC Cincinnati with precision passing here in the first 7 minutes. That one gets away, but still winds up on friendly feet. Ledesma now. Steele playing the other way. Here's Epps turning upfield. This is Corey Burke. Actually, Burke inside the 18 now, trying to fend off a defender as Lasso was all over him. And those two exchange unpleasantries.
I'm not really sure I'd want to get into it with 6'4" Corey Burke, but start from the back. Good job by Matt Mahoney, doing a good job in transition, bringing the ball down, moving forward. Like to see a little bit more out of that out of Bethlehem. Again, a very possession-oriented squad, but when they do go with pace, they push numbers forward quite well.
Here's Epps. Epps was looking for Burke that time. Ball got sent out. Now Senti Morar will track it down. Welshman continuing to attack. Emery Welshman plays this run as the ball goes out. And let's see. It will belong to Bethlehem.
And that's classy defending by the first team player, Joshua Jarl. Stepping back, not committing a foul, just tracking back. He was beaten, but wasn't belittled whatsoever. Continued his run, and just a little shove to the back of Welshman throws him off his game to get the ball over the end line and get a goal kick.
Just underway here in the 9th minute. Drew Felios, Devin Kerr with you. Goodman Stadium, cold. Had a little bit of rain earlier. Right now, we are clear. That could change, though, by the end of this contest. Matt Boehner to throw it in now. Abadawi sends it downfield. Cut off. And this is Ledesma. Ledesma had it taken away. Anthony Fontana also in the starting lineup for the Bethlehem Steel. Marcus Epps again. There's a lot of chatter down on the field right now. Richie Ryan. Ryan able to complete it, and now numbers for Cincinnati.
Well, Matt Mahoney's got to be careful stepping up into space like that. Mahoney familiar at the right back position and the center back position, and defensively you got to know if you're going to go, you better go with all the intention to win the ball. You step out too far like that, throw your team in a little bit of a skirmish as they track back. Such a speedy squad like FC Cincinnati.
Boehner with a nice touch. Welshman now tries to post up just outside the 18. Mentioned how cold it is inside Goodman Stadium. 42 degrees, also significant wind. And as I mentioned, rain in the area. And you know, when you mentioned the weather, Bethlehem, they have been hampered. They were hammered by snowstorms in this area just a few weeks ago. Really put a damper on their practice schedule.
Yeah, just another beautiful spring day here at Lehigh University.
Corner kick coming up for Cincinnati. Ball deflected out. Cincinnati now with a little time and space. Ledesma. Oh, nice slide that time. Senti Morar, number 38. Gonna keep an eye on him as he finally able to get a start here this afternoon. Coach Brendan Burke really wants to see him get involved. Here comes the cross. Morar was right there. Had a defender right there on him as Kanon was in his way.
That's solid ball movement, though, starting with the tackle on the left side of the pitch by Prosper. You saw him step up into the space, made a nice 50-50 challenge. Then Santi and Corey Burke playing a little two-man game. Thought Corey should have released it a little bit sooner. He had a load of space on the right side, able to push that down into the channel, but still able to get a lucky bounce. And again, much better from Bethlehem going forward. Been a little bit sluggish at times in the final third, but I've liked what I've seen so far.
Devin, you mentioned Bethlehem being sluggish in that final third. It is so difficult to be on point in that area of the pitch whenever there are so many changes in the lineup, and that is something that Coach Burke and this franchise have had to deal with continuously.
We always hear the word chemistry, and it's difficult to develop and maintain chemistry when you don't have a similar lineup. But again, it's just part of the process here, and You could consider it some growing pains of sorts when you move so many different players around. But as we mentioned, they're looking at a bigger picture just beyond 90 minutes here this afternoon.
Matt Mahoney sent it out for Bethlehem. FC Cincinnati will possess again. Go the other way. Prosper Chuluya tosses it in. And now Anthony Fontana playing. And another whistle. Visitors a little bit frustrated here over the past minute. Brendan Aronson, 17 years old in the starting lineup today for the Bethlehem Steel. Coach Burke says doesn't just want him to play the game, wants him to boss the game.
And he said he has such an amazing presence on the field, and you've seen it too. Even the tiniest little deflections that he's pushed forward as to not turn the ball over to FC Cincinnati and offer them counterattacks. And this young man, again, 17 years old, he's verbally committed to Indiana right now. He actually spent the preseason with the first team, Philadelphia Union, down in Clearwater, Florida. And he's capped for the U15s and 17s. Unfortunately, nothing since 2016. So the national level, I'd like to see him get a couple more reps as the country continues to find some great stars.
Well, you mentioned Aronson being committed to Indiana. What would you tell a young guy like that with obviously so much potential? The road of soccer and the road to the top is such a tough one, Devin. So many options. What do you tell a guy like that?
Interestingly enough, it's difficult to difficult to tell a kid not to go to school because you want him to continue to develop his game and gain all of that experience. And with Aronson, you know, he's in a unique situation where he's getting reps for Bethlehem Steel. And I won't name the coach, but I had this exact conversation. I said, you know, when you have someone of a player of such a high caliber like this, and they're committed to such a big powerhouse school, any school in general is great, but a big school like Indiana, what do you do with them? Because selfishly, you want to keep them within the organization, but at the same point in time, if they're not getting the appropriate reps, they're not going to gain the right experience.
Here's Santi Moar. Moar with a little bit of fancy footwork before the ball got away from him that time. Now, we'll be keeping an eye on Aronson throughout the afternoon. Tremendous potential. This is his third start in a Bethlehem uniform. There he is right there, making a play, setting his team up. The flick is on, and the ball is in, courtesy of Corey Burke.
When we said Corey Burke was great in a multitude of ways, that he was great in the air and he was able to stretch this defense, but this ball starts in the back. The ball on a 50-50 ball, Brandon Aubrey steps up and makes a great challenge, knocks it in. And that's when you see it fall at the foot of Brendan Aronson. As the ball bounces over, you get excellent service from the right side of the pitch and Anthony Fontana. And you're going to see him. He's actually going to have a strike and have a go. I think he was going for goal there, but regardless, Corey Burke sees the opportunity, steps up, deflects it to the back post, and is able to beat former goalkeeper of the week, Evan Newton.
So a goal in the 15th minute by Corey Burke, and how about that assist by Anthony Fontana? We talk a lot about Aronson and what he brings to the pitch. Fontana is a future star in this Union system.
He's a great player, and he'll step up into that space a little bit more than other holding midfielder Derek Jones will. Jones tends to hold the space a little bit tighter.
Matt Boehner coming right back, and it set up that time, tried to hit Welshman on the short cross, and a corner coming up for Cincinnati. You can clearly see them trying to get Welshman opportunities here today.
And that's what they're going to look for. And almost on cue, Derek Jones stepping into that defensive role, doing a good job holding down the middle of the park, sliding back to help the back line out.
Ball is in, punched out. Could not have been delivered much better than that. Wind continuing to blow here. Mentioned the temperatures as well in the low 40s. Devin, extreme cold, extreme heat, rain. What do you like to play in? What gave you the most trouble as a player?
One of the things that bothered me the most was always warming up on wet grounds. I hated having wet feet, at least during warm-ups. And then as you continue forward, you go out, you get a nice training session in before the match, and then all of a sudden you're soaking wet, and I hated that, which is funny because it's all about getting dirty out here. You need to change your boots, get back out on the pitch. I don't mind the cold weather. Not many people do, but again, when you're dealing with cold and wet, it makes things a little bit more adverse. It starts to wear on you mentally, and it's extremely frustrating over time.
Prosper Chuluya in the center circle. Now for Bethlehem. Corey Burke settling things after scoring his second goal of the season. Drew Felios, Devin Kerr. Bethlehem out to the good start.
It shows you some of the growth and maturity you're starting to see out of Corey Burke. Corey Burke, a year and a half, 2 years ago, might have tried to take someone one-on-one in that situation. But as you said, Drew, excellent composure, stepping on the ball, starting over, able to help his team maintain possession and move down the field.
Santee Moar now great 1v1 skills with the left foot. Gives it a blast. Oh, that one made you hold your breath as Marcus Epps came flying in with a header in mind.
And Brendan Burke telling us that there's a few players that kind of catch his eye on a regular basis. Santee Moar is one of them, as you see the excellent service to the back post. Mark Epps trying to crash there. Defending on the left side of the pitch by FC Cincinnati, but extremely impressive with Bethlehem Steel in the opening 20 minutes.
Here's Santee again. Fontana. Anthony Fontana and Brendan Aronson, the two youngsters, looking really smooth and comfortable right now on this pitch here at home. Derek Jones will send it forward, and Newton will let this one roll. So FC Cincinnati, with a win or a draw today, will have their best start in franchise history. They want to keep their momentum going and add to the 6 points. A 2-1 record so far here in their fourth match of the year.
And you got to think that Alan Koch and the boys are a little bit shocked right now. They've had some formidable foes in their opening matches. The 1-0 win versus Charleston, same thing versus Martin Rennie and the guys at Indy 11. And then as you alluded to, Drew, that massive game, River City rivalry early on in the year, they just kind of got stung a little bit going down 1-0. We talked about the record on the home and away, and last year, you know, again at home, going 8-2-6, only losing twice to guess who? Louisville.
Third match of a 3-game homestand for the Bethlehem Steel. And the 1-0 lead here 20 minutes in. And Bethlehem with really tremendous chemistry and cohesion over the past 10 minutes. See the young stars really shining. Welshman trying to track this one down as Josh Yarrow just pokes it away calmly.
And there's the experience on display again by Josh at that center back position.
In the territory of Corey Burke. Well, when Corey Burke is on his horse, when he is running downfield, he just kind of makes you hold your breath. It's almost like watching a Terrell Owens in his prime as a wide receiver, or a Joey Galloway. I mean, just such tremendous skill as FC Cincinnati now attacks the other way. Al-Badawi approaching the 18. Get this one tight to Hoyt. Hand on it. Rebound shot is on. And that one is over the goal. Al-Badawi had a good clean look.
Yeah, it's difficult from John McCarthy as that ball's coming across. He's trying to cut down the angle. He sees an opportunity to step up and try and get a hand on something. Unfortunately, in situations like this, as the ball's served across by Justin Hoyt, when you see McCarthy step up, push it out with his hand, he almost pushes it right into the path of Nazmi Al-Badawi. Got to be careful from the goalkeeping position, but still made the save nonetheless.
Richie Ryan, the Irishman, one of the lead passers for the visitors. 81% coming in. Comes from Miami FC. They're now attacking once more. FC Cincinnati, they are so quick to turn and go.
Yeah, and watch this situation right now. They've actually got a man advantage. A second ago, Brendan Aronson stepped up and had a little shoulder-to-shoulder charge that forced him off the side of the field. So being tended to by the training staff right now. Watch for FC Cincinnati to kind of jump out in front as they've got that man advantage for the next minute or so.
And swinger now is Haber. Haber, the head is on. Oh, right there. What a great chance for Kanan. As Kanan, the former Israeli national teamer, was right there in the goal, and the ball was coming to his head.
Yeah, almost on cue. You see FC Cincinnati crash the box with a few more on the set piece from the corner. Good ball swung in, flicked to the back post. Eerily reminiscent of a goal we saw in Las Vegas last night by Joel Wiki. But again, Deco Kanan, not going to get a lot of opportunities like that. Good spacing, got to head that ball down.
Game number 63, Brendan Aronson. Entering in his place, number 41, Mike Catalano. Substitution in the 23rd minute.
Mike Catalano set to enter the game now for the Bethlehem Steel. And Brendan Aronson will exit here in the 24th minute.
And you have to wonder in a situation like that, if it was something outside of just a shoulder-to-shoulder 50-50 ball. He got knocked off his feet pretty good. You wonder if something went to the head. Don't want to assume anything at all. They're exchanging a midfielder from midfielder there, and that's extremely odd. Only 3 minutes into the match, so see something wrong with Brendan. Wish him a speedy recovery.
Game getting really physical now on the pitch. As the player went down. And from the pitch, we invite you to hear exclusive stories directly from the USL's players and USLsoccer.com's From the Pitch, with written and video content providing unfiltered access and a first-person look into the pro game and players' everyday lives. Cincinnati on the attack. Here's the curler, and it's just wide. Ledesma with a nice left-footed strike.
Well, interestingly enough, Emmanuel Ledesma kind of bouncing back and forth, shifting with Daniel Haber, and Ledesma coming in, putting it on that left foot. As you said, Drew, going to try and pick out that far post. I think John McCarthy definitely had that covered.
He is probably the guy that they are most excited about in 2017. Has not really had that breakout moment just yet, but this Argentinian has played in England, has played in Greece, played for the New York Cosmos last year, and his ability is off the charts.
Well, he goes back with a former player, Eric Calvillo of the New York Cosmo, who's now at Reno, and those two guys making the transition to the USL very nicely so far.
Santi Moar touches, Chaluya right back to Santi, and Bethlehem now will possess. Brandon Aubrey out of Plano, Texas, former Notre Dame star, and the back line for Bethlehem Steel wearing number 44. Here's Brandon. Sure pass to Santi Moar, and how about that little flick as Chaluya has it. I'm telling you, when these guys start finding each other, it is a pretty thing to watch.
And what you're tactically going to see from the Steel since they've lost, Brendan Aronson, is that their attacking midfielder now out, bringing Catalano. He plays more of a holding midfielder role, so watch him to pair with Derek Jones and kind of hold down the middle of the park. Anthony Fontana is going to push up and start to play that 10 role and pull the strings a little bit in the midfield.
The wind picks up a little bit here at Goodman Stadium. The FC Cincinnati trying to get a goal back here. Emery Welshman. Two defenders marking him very tightly. A little bit of hold up there. It's Corey Burke trying to get free. Santi Moar approaching the 18, dumps it off now. Fontana sets up Burke, and Burke with a blast a little bit high that time.
And interestingly enough, Santi Moar going against the grain, had the overlapping run of Mike Catalano and decided not to play it off. Still gets the ball into Burke, who has an opportunity on goal, but it's difficult as he's pushing it away, leaning back. That's hard to put on frame.
Chaluya now to toss it in for Bethlehem. Oh, Burke goes down hard. And we play on, but official's going to have to step in and blow the whistle here because he really took a shot, and it could have been to the head.
Well, you could hear that one up there. Heavy knock for sure. As Corey Burke goes to the ground in excruciating pain. You can see our head referee stepping over. Amber O'Connor asking the sideline to step on and intervene a little bit. And that's just a rough 50-50 challenge. That's the big body of Dekel Kanan that we've seen on the offensive side of the ball. Haven't seen him in the back, but he partners up with Forrest Lasso, another big frame.
So Mike Catalano entering the game for Bethlehem Steel, and Bethlehem Steel FC player substitution brought to you today by Lehigh Valley Health Network, proud sponsor of Bethlehem Steel FC soccer. Mike Catalano out of Roselle, Illinois, midfielder, former Wisconsin Badger. And Corey Burke is up, and it looks like he is okay. That is a great sign.
Solid to see, and I'm sure Brendan Burke is breathing a sigh of relief as well. Would hate to go to the bench the opening 30 minutes of this game, especially with such integral pieces in Brendan Aronson and Corey Burke.
Catalano lays it off. Santi Moar now. He's got tremendous speed, and a corner kick coming up for Bethlehem. That first goal by Corey Burke, is that one of the smoothest goals that you've seen so far in this young USL season?
Yeah, he's ice cold. It runs through his veins up top there. Just cool, calm, collected customer. And again, whether he's in the air, going one-on-one in space, all of that we referenced at the top of the broadcast. And then sure enough, in traffic, able to pick one out as well.
Ball just exploded off his foot into the back of the net. Corner kick on the way. And they go short with Santi Moar. He'll send it in. Header. And that one goes high.
It's a good ball from Santi, and you see big center back Brandon Aubrey stepping up, trying to get a challenge on the ball.
Now head to the other side. Do the same. Brandon Aubrey, 22 years old, comes from Toronto FC. That big body expected to have really a key role for this Steel team this year. And there's Burke again, got a piece right into the hands of Newton.
Well, interestingly enough, Bethlehem deciding to go short, which is a great option. And as they lay the ball off to Marcus Epps, he serves kind of a lackadaisical ball, floated a little bit too high, but no one from FC Cincinnati stepped to the ball. You see all the boys in white sitting in the middle of the box, and that is definitely going to benefit the Steel down the road.
Nice little flick there. Bethlehem attacking again, and they have got some numbers. Marcus Epps, very dangerous. Lays it back that time. Here comes some help. Burke couldn't collect.
Unfortunate for Corey Burke. You saw him try to play that ball out into the channel and just couldn't get a full touch on it. Bethlehem able to recover possession.
Derek Jones, a little bit air under it. Possession now in favor of Cincinnati. Look at Justin Hoyt. Coming to Cincinnati out of the UK. Goal in the 15th minute by Corey Burke is the difference so far.
Well, not only is the position arrow in favor of Cincinnati, but the percentage as well. You've seen over the past 5 to 10 minutes creeping back into the match. Bethlehem seceding some of that possession that they were so prevalent with in the opening 25 minutes. Something to keep an eye on. It's the last thing you want to do, your Brendan Burke's boys, is continue to give the guys in white more opportunities down the stretch.
Here comes the steal now. Slowing it up is Matt Mahoney. Here's Burke. Ball deflected this time. Steele able to maintain possession though. Now it's Chuluya. Santi Moar, a touch as well. Moar approaching the 18. Can he get through? Not this time. Matt Boehner there to cut him off. Well, Select is the official sponsor and soccer ball of the USL. For the latest Select products and special offers, visit SelectSportsAmerica.com. Receive free shipping on orders over $50. Select, the official soccer ball of the USL. Drew Felios and Devin Kerr. The site, Goodman Stadium, Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. And here comes Santi Moar once again. He has been so active here in this first 34 minutes. Moar trying to get some space. The shot is on and deflected and denied by Newton at the very last moment.
Evan Newton, save of the week, goalkeeper for a reason. Just so much talent back here for the 30-year-old. You're gonna see nice little technical footwork by Santi Moar. Touch inside, touch outside, goes back inside, brings it across the body, catches a little deflection as well. You can see motioning to the head referee that he really wanted something on the handball there, but still able to get a corner out of it.
What does Santi Moar do best? His ability to unbalance defenders. Such a difference maker out there. And, you know, it's unfortunate he has not been in the lineup more, but that's what happens when you play for Bethlehem. It's so many MLS players and Union guys coming down week after week. The steal with Fontana. Fontana creating some space. The shot is on. It's off the post. Moar trying to keep possession. A golden opportunity for the steal goes for naught. Fontana showing his ability, though, just could not finish.
Well, Anthony Fontana saying to Santi Moar, anything you can do, I can do better. We saw the footwork a second ago. How about Fontana? Nice little step over, pushes it outside, goes with the left foot. To be honest, probably could have laid it off to center back Brandon Aubrey a little bit sooner, had some space, and you're going to see wide open, just a little touch. Aubrey could pick out the far corner. Instead, it tends to go alone. He had Evan Newton beat, though, just puts it off the woodwork.
That is one of those plays, Devin, you make in the moment. Take it yourself or dish it off to a teammate.
Yeah, I'm sure the center back, Brandon Aubrey, was cursing him as he ran back. Anytime the center backs get an opportunity to run forward, you think you're God's great gift to this earth, waiting for the opportunity to put your name in lights.
No matter what happens, though, if that ball is not scored, you're going to get questioned either way.
Exactly. What are you doing up there? Unfortunately for me, that happened a lot. Yelled at to get my butt in the back line.
Now Cincinnati trying to counter here. Santi Moar, one of the stars of this game. He, along with Corey Burke, leading the steal here in the first half. Bethlehem Steel with only 4 points on the season. In need of 3 here this afternoon. Talked about the Steel and the players they have sent on to the first team. Guys like Corey Burke and Anthony Fontana. Austin Trusty is another. How about Matt Real, a guy we saw a lot last year, who is not with the second team at the moment.
Well, Matt Real, another one who Brendan Burke telling us he'd like to get him reps at this level, but he can't be selfish. You know, he's going to bounce back and forth, and that's, again, the big picture of what they're going to do. And with Matt Real, you get a very offensive-minded defender, and the service that he's provided for this squad over time has been great. I don't remember who the opponent was last year, but he hit a 40-yard ball on a rope last year from the left side of the pitch and split the entire defenders, and I believe Corey Burke was the one that was able to run onto it and finish it off.
Whistle blown. Crowd for Steel not going to like that call. as they felt Welshman deserved a yellow that time. Little conversation with our official. Had several little mini scuffles here in the first half. And this one was another. Let's take one more look here.
It started in the opening minutes with Corey Burke, and shifting gears a little bit back to the other side as you see first-teamer Josh Yarrow stepping in with the Canadian native Emery Welshman. It's a fun battle between the guys up top.
Burke taken down on the far side. And another whistle set piece will come up now for the Steel. Trying to put it in play quickly. And this will be a corner for Bethlehem. Prosper Chiluya will get in position for the Steel.
And smartly they send another one over, as they did the first time with Marcus Epps. Prosper makes his way over, and they went 1v1 with the two-man game, but it's going to suck another guy out for FC Cincinnati. A little more spacing in the box.
Chiluya, the end swinger. This ball delivered right to the 6. Another shot from straight on, and it's high as Catalano just could not square it up where he wanted to.
Mike Catalano is going to be cursing himself. Got to get over the ball. Go back to fundamentals and basics. All the time in the world. As the ball comes across your body, lean over it, put your laces on it, and put one on frame.
Catalano really trying to get it back after missing that last opportunity. Cincinnati, though, possessing here in the 40th. Ball deflected. Now Burke hustling for the steal.
And in situations like this, especially 5-6 minutes left in the match, I'd be surprised if you see them push a little bit higher line. There it is. Everybody getting nice and tight in the defensive third, making FC Cincinnati play out of the back. Don't give them free range of motion.
Has anything that we have seen so far, Devin, surprised you about the way these two teams have come out?
Once again, shocked by FC Cincinnati and their ability, or I should say inability, of going forward. They really, what they were known for in the mainstays of the offensive firepower that is Alan Koch in this system, has not been on display here so far in the opening first half.
Only 2 goals for Cincinnati coming into this match. Looking for an offensive rebirth here today, but it just has not happened so far. As Newton collects. Saw Welshman come out firing for Cincinnati. Have not really seen any other guys trying to take charge of the moment.
Some decent ball movement right there, but that starts from the back. You know, FC Cincinnati coming out. They acquired Forrest Lasso, obviously such a great career at Charleston. Battery coming over, and he'll occasionally step up with his size, especially on set pieces, but Deco Kanan and him haven't really given the best distribution. Justin Hoyt has been active on the left side, haven't called Matt Boehner's name at all on the right.
Turnover at midfield. Santi Moar running free. Oh, how about that ball fake? Can square this one up, and a blast again sent high in Bethlehem. Thinking what could have been, like they have so many times this half.
Well, a fly on the wall at halftime is what exactly you and I would both like to be. Some of the decision making in the final third for the Steel has been questionable. Santi Moar, I love how he pulls the ball back. As he does, all the space in front of him, you've done your job, step up and hit it. He then takes another stutter. At that point in time, you've got to lay the ball off. See right there, nope, should have hit it the first time. If not, more spacing to the right, lay it off, let someone else have a go.
Just waiting for Moar to finish one today. He has had such an effect on this game, has done everything but score one. Newton sends this one the length of the field. Collected by Al-Badawi. Waiting for help now are the visitors. Ledesma. Send it across the field. Haber will collect. Now some cohesion. Corbin Bone. Good touch from the right side. Here's Ledesma. Set back. Al-Badawi now with the left-footed strike. And this one didn't have a chance.
I think Evan Newton heard me calling his boys in the back line out because he just stepped up with some superb service a second ago. Nice little side volley about 60 yards down the pitch to Al-Badawi. And that's what you expect to see out of FC Cincinnati, but again, just not really putting anything on display here in the first half. Got to give credit to Bethlehem as well. Stayed composed in the back, taking advantage of having first-teamer Josh Yarrow back there, but good job by Brandon Aubie and Prosper on the right side. Excuse me, left side as well.
Welshman. Al-Badawi now. Tough matchup with Derek Jones here today. Jones is all over him. Looked like he had some hands on the jersey. We play on. Corbin Bone. Ledesma again. And now here's Boehner. Boehner, the service in. Ball just kind of dies right there in the middle of the 18.
It's good service. We just said a second ago we haven't called Matt Boehner's name. Nice overlapping run. And Ledesma combining down on the right side in the corner. Good service. And almost on cue. Josh Yarrow stepping up, making another tackle in a 50-50 challenge. We've worked so hard in this first half for Bethlehem. I'd like to see them continue that into the locker room and carry this lead into the second half.
Ball kept away from Burke. Corbin Bone now works from the back. Here in the 45th minute. Waiting on stoppage time. The first half winding down here at Goodman Stadium. 15th minute goal by Corey Burke. Star forward for Bethlehem is the difference. Cincinnati trying to equalize here before halftime. Play it wide. Service comes in. It's deflected off the back of Jones. 1 minute stoppage time as FC Cincinnati will set up the corner kick from Haber. Keep in mind, wind at the back right now with Haber. This ball should whistle towards the goal. There it is. Fisted out, though, by McCarthy. Another one from Haber comes on.
There will be a minimum of 1 minute of stoppage time.
Ledesma. Nice ball here. Steele marking tightly, though, inside the box. Ledesma very active on the right side. Cincinnati has had some pretty solid possession here over the past 5 minutes.
We've crept back in a little bit, but again, guys in blue staying composed, doing a good job, winning the battles they need to. And I tell you, they've been really nice in transition going forward.
Kanan to Lasso. Back to Kanan now. Ledesma all bunched up. And Kanan, that's going to do it. Here in the first half, Cincinnati trying to establish some cohesion late in the first, but it was Corey Burke with the biggest strike. A flick that found its way into the back of the net on a gorgeous pass from number 21, Anthony Fontana.
Excellent finish by Corey Burke, and Fontana doing a great job in the middle, pulling strings. Stepped up in that situation, good service. You know, whether or not he went to goal doesn't matter, ended up in the back of the net. For Brendan Burke and the boys in blue, they got to stay true to Burke's comments at the top of our broadcast. You want to isolate mistakes on your end. If it's FC Cincinnati's going to beat you, make them earn it. with FC Cincinnati, you got to be quicker in transition. You did such a good job in the opening 10, 20 minutes with Welshman, feeding him in. Go with what works for you. Go back to your basics. Go with what was working. Try and capitalize on that in the second half.
Meanwhile, several opportunities for naught for Bethlehem. Still, they have a 1-0 lead here at halftime in Bethlehem.
The heat will wear you out real quick. And we've been through some hot ones. It's very physical. You gotta take care of your body and stay hydrated because every moment matters. That's why I drink Advocare Rehydrate. I've got a job to do.
The Hillside School in the Lehigh Valley works to maximize the potential of the child with learning disabilities through excellence in education. Join us in supporting our very own Sean Redmond, Hillside's art teacher, as he prepares to hike for Hillside by completing the Appalachian Trail hike.
Our goal is to raise $100,000 in support of student scholarships at the Hillside School.
To donate to the Student Scholarship Fund and support Sean's journey, visit hillsideschool.org or follow us on social media.
It can happen over time or in a snap. If joint or muscle pain has taken you out of the game, we can identify the root cause of your problem and develop a sport-specific treatment plan to get you moving again. Over 400 medical experts strong, the region's only nationally ranked program. That's Orthopedics in Action at Lehigh Valley Health Network.
Hey Union fans, Dunkin' Donuts has the perfect assist for DD Perks members this season. Score medium hot or iced coffee for $1 the day of every Union home game when you use on-the-go mobile ordering in the Dunkin' app. Order ahead, skip the wait in store, and go! Enroll in DD Perks today and order your next Dunkin' run on the go. Dunkin' Donuts, the official coffee of the Philadelphia Union. The Union runs on Dunkin'.
Welcome back to Goodman Stadium on the campus of Lehigh University. 1-0 is your count. Bethlehem Steel on top of FC Cincinnati. Drew Felios with Devin Kerr. The next match for the Bethlehem Steel is in 13 days, so they'll take next week off and then look out. They have to head to Louisville. Good luck there against the defending champions.
And this is going to have an immediate impact on the standings in the Eastern Conference. We talked about the unbeatens at the top of the broadcast. Atlanta United 2 is going to host Louisville City. They're going to bring the boys in purple in. So one of the unbeatens most likely going to go down. And as you said, Bethlehem Steel then going to travel to Slugger Field and take on Louisville City to try and dethrone them early on in the season.
Much more coming up here at halftime, including a special interview we're going to get to right now with USL Commissioner Jake Edwards.
Hi, we're being joined today by Jake Edwards, president of the USL. Just getting ready to kick off an exciting 2018 season. Jake, thank you very much for joining us today.
My pleasure.
So, Jake, the expansion this year has brought a large group of new owners to the USL to complement this already very strong base of ownership that we've seen that's really led to the success of the league. Talk about the USL ownership group and what these new folks are bringing.
Many of our owners, I'd say the vast majority of our owners now, have owned and operated sports organizations in multiple different leagues. They bring with them a real understanding of the economics of sport, what's required in terms of an investment level in the facilities, in the community, in all the different programs that our teams run. So for me, it's a privilege to get to work with all of these very experienced businessmen and women on a daily basis, and I'm just constantly thrilled by the commitment and investment they have into their local communities and ultimately into our sport. The new owners that are joining our league now are coming in every year with bigger ambitions. For us, we continue to drive value from a business point of view. The model continues to attract more and more sophisticated owners into the league, and that's something that we believe will have such a positive impact on the future of this league and the new initiatives that we want to embark upon.
Last year we surpassed 2 million in attendance. Talk about what your expectations are for this season and in terms of attendance at live games and just overall awareness of the league?
Yeah, our fans are the lifeblood of this league, as they are for every league. We've seen the support for our clubs grow exponentially. We're already significantly ahead of where we were this time last year on average per club for season tickets. I think it speaks to the excitement. It speaks to what's happening in the local communities. It speaks to the all of the things we're trying to do, building new stadiums, creating more exciting, authentic environments, attracting better players, having a more competitive and compelling league. I think it's, at least for the league office here, a substantial investment in content production and infrastructure around the broadcast, around the digital and social. And so we take great pride in growing that area of the business and engaging with the fans from a team point of view and a league point of view.
Always great hearing from Jake Edwards as this great league, the USL, continues to evolve. And then there were 6, showed you the 3 unbeaten teams in the East, also 3 in the West. And one of them we had a chance to see last night. Somehow the Las Vegas Lights FC managing to stay unbeaten. ESPN schedule announced, of course, ESPN Plus now launched on Thursday. That is now the official home of the USL, and the player of the month, Carlton Belmar. I know, though, you want to talk about those Las Vegas Lights FC.
Wow, last night's game, once again, the Lights just figuring out a way to keep the electricity high in the desert and keep it going against Sacramento Republic. Real Monarchs came out and put a drubbing on S2, 3-1, and Carlton Belmar started his season off in the Snow Bowl versus Reno. Again, rewarded with his efforts for Player of the Month, 4 goals, 2 assists. Great performance by that young man.
All right, let's take a look now at the team of the week. This is the best players from around the league over the past week. I've had a chance to cover Leo Fernandez. He has been magical for the Tampa Bay Rowdies. Also look at Brett, though, of the Riverhounds, the player of the week. Sensational so far this year.
Ian Segber's putting up a couple goals last week, doing a good job. Cano Sparrow for the Real Monarchs, able to blank Phoenix Rising midweek. Paco Craig, second time we've seen his name up there, but like you said, player of the week, Brett for the Riverhounds. He and Bob Lilly are really trying to get things going there. Lilly a little bit more of a defensive stalwart tactically, trying to bring in an offensive firehouse to that squad.
Hat-tricks also in effect here in the USL. Chris Cortez, Thomas and Evelson, and Nico Brett as well.
And Chris Cortez rewarded for his efforts. 3 goals, had an assist as well on the goal from Solomon Asante, who had a nice screamer, and Evolson was actually able to tuck one away, got another one last night in their victory. So Braden Cloutier has Orange County Soccer Club headed in the right direction. Started off with a 1-1 tie and have been cruising ever since their game with Phoenix Rising.
Some big-time matches coming up over the next few weeks. Look at the upcoming schedule for Wednesday. Toronto FC 2, North Carolina FC, Fresno and Tulsa. You got Portland, Rio Grande Valley facing off in another late game. And the Sacramento Republic, the Republic and Colorado Springs will duel. That's an ESPN 3 matchup at 10:30 p.m. Eastern time.
And North Carolina finally able to get in the W column last night, taking down the Independents in Charlotte. So that was a little bit of a surprise, but Colin Clark and those guys handle the ball quite well. And like you said, respectively, you've got Sacramento Republic, Colorado Springs sitting at 3 and 6 in the Western Conference standings. Both of them getting ready to play their 5th and 6th games of the season. So a little bit of jockeying for position early on in the Western Conference as we start to approach the month of May.
Yeah, we talk about rivalries too all season long. How about that Charlotte Independence, North Carolina FC rivalry? Boy, it really reached epic proportions on Twitter yesterday, didn't it?
Yeah, no love lost between those two squads. That's 3 in a row for Colin Clark and the guys from Cary. And they went into Charlotte and shown Jats Militia exactly what they were made of. Trolled a little bit on Twitter, but they got their payback.
All right, 1-0 the score at halftime. We'll have more from Bethlehem coming up in just a moment.
What is it? It's the vibe of life well lived. And it's happening right now in St. Pete Clearwater. 35 miles of white sand bliss and world-class culture leads you to your best day ever. Plan your getaway at visitstpeteclearwater.com.
The Lehigh Valley's largest selection of new and certified pre-owned vehicles in one location is Rothrock. We have over 1,000 vehicles to choose from, an award-winning service team, ultra-modern facilities for comfort and convenience, and the best deals in the Valley. During the Rothrock Spring Sales Event, lease a Ram Express Quad Cab 4x4 or a Jeep Compass Latitude. Your choice, only $99 a month. And only at Rothrock. Rothrock Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, family owned and operated for over 57 years. Rothrock, where the cars are.
It can happen over time or in a snap. If joint or muscle pain has taken you out of the game, we can identify the root cause of your problem and develop a sport-specific treatment plan to get you moving again. Over 400 medical experts strong, the region's only nationally ranked program. That's Orthopedics in Action at Lehigh Valley Health Network.
Welcome back to Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. The Steel with the lead on FC Cincinnati by a count of 1-0 as the light rain starts to come down here at Goodman Stadium. Want to make one announcement before we proceed with highlights. Brendan Aronson did come out early in the first half, and Devin, you called it. You said something must be wrong. Well, in fact, there was. He has been transported to a local hospital. He's got an upper body injury. We hope for the best, and we wish him the best.
You hate to see any player sit in a situation, get alone a young 17-year-old thrown into the limelight and getting his third start overall, but we wish him a speedy recovery and all the best in the future.
Take a look at the highlights from the first 45 minutes. FC Cincinnati comes out swinging. They had several chances in the opening minutes, including that shot from straight on.
Not too much to talk about in general, but the opening 20 minutes, like you said, did a good job, stepped up, created a couple opportunities. Corbin Bone with the long-range effort. John McCarthy had it covered. Then coming down on the left side, Justin Hoyt, nice little touch inside, in swinging ball. And saw Emery Welshman, quite prevalent of an appearance in the first half. Just couldn't stick anything to the back of that. That's a hard angle to hit something from. And then as you continue down, there's Brendan Aronson right there. And this is the goal. It's a nice little touch. It started with Brandon Aubrey in the 50-50 challenge. Ball comes to Aronson, laid off to Anthony Fontana, and whether he's going for goal or not, it makes its way to Corey Burke, who finds the back of the net.
Yeah, Burke was so slick with that touch. It's one of the best goals we have seen so far this year in USL play. So Corey Burke delivers. He was very aggressive also for the Steel. FC Cincinnati tries to come back, get a good cross here, and both teams left several outstanding chances on the pitch.
Absolutely, and for the boys in blue, there were some questionable tactics in the back line, a little bit of spacing issues here and there. We talked about John McCarthy stepping up into space. If you're going to push something like that, you want to push it to the side. Hard to do so with your left hand, and like you said, Drew, coming down the other way, Anthony Fontana going one-on-one. Wanted to see him lay the ball off there to the center back, goes it alone, finds the sidebar.
Fontana and Moar had two outstanding chances that they could not finish. Well, there you take a look at the numbers at the half. Shots, Bethlehem has a 10-7 lead in that category. Possession is about equal. No discipline thus far, although it did get a little chippy at times there in the first half.
And from a possession standpoint, though FC Cincinnati couldn't make their way down the field and push the offensive numbers, they were able to creep back into this mess. On the possession standpoint, at one point in time, Bethlehem Steel carrying close to 60% possession, dictating the overall strategy of this entire squad. Brendan Burke had his guys ready and ripping and roaring. Unfortunately, the injury from Brendan Aronson took a little bit of wind out of their sails, had to restructure the troops, get them back on track, and expect that to continue into the second half.
Well, coming into this match, Bethlehem head coach Brendan Burke said that he feels that his team is much better than their record indicated. I think they showed that in the first 45. Josh Yarrow has been subbed out, as now we're going to see Eric Ayuk, number 30, the midfielder out of Cameroon. And this player substitution is brought to you by Lehigh Valley Health Network as Aiyuk comes in for Yaro.
And we expected that, and we referenced that at the top of the broadcast. You know, Josh Yaro dealing with that abductor strain. Nice to see him get a nice rep. 45 minutes in, they'll get him off some light stretching. Get a little bit of physiotherapy time. Be a nice little massage from the trainer and get things going to rehab his body back into shape. And what you'll see now is the makeshift right back, center back, Matt Mahoney. He will push in from the outside, push into the middle of the pitch, and Eric Aiyuk will step onto the right side playing right back.
Dan Haber with a shot on goal. John McCarthy right there for Bethlehem. There you take a look at Haber, the Canadian. 5 caps with the Canadian men's national team. Also spent some time with the Real Monarchs, Vancouver Whitecaps as well. You've got several players for FC Cincinnati, Devin, that suited up for the Vancouver Whitecaps too. And that, of course, where Alan Koch coached before he went to Cincinnati. And you can tell Coach Koch very loyal to players, good ones that he's coached in the past.
He definitely likes to keep those guys. As you said, loyalty is a big thing with him, and he'll keep him in his wheelhouse. And don't be surprised if you see a change from Alan Koch. Again, so much offensive talent. If he decides to go to a Danny Koenig or Jimmy McLaughlin, we talked about Haber and Ledesma, but they weren't really pulling a lot of numbers in the first half, getting up and down those wings and channels, which they're so good at on a regular basis. So keep an eye out for that. Probably some changes coming in the future.
Temperature still in the low 40s here in Bethlehem. Cold and windy. Players adjusting, though, very nicely. We've seen some very quality soccer here up to this point. Santi Moar to throw it in. Moar has played well for Bethlehem. Also, of course, Corey Burke with the goal. Anthony Fontana also very impressive as Chaluya now down on the Bethlehem side.
And Anthony Fontana pulling double duty in the midfield here tonight as Brendan Aronson starting off in that 10 role. And unfortunately, with that injury we mentioned, he went to the hospital. Fontana stepping up, moving in, playing much more of an attacking role here. Bringing in Mike Catalano, sliding into that holding midfielder position. Get a good look at Prosper Chulu and the foul that just took place. Good stuff from Bethlehem in the first half.
Derek Jones now for the steal. Nice touch, sends it up front now. Catalano and Santi Moar. Moar working very quickly, seems to be at another speed here today. He has waited for this opportunity as Bone pokes it away from him. Moar gets it right back. Ball sent ahead, and Newton able to gather it in. And I'm surprised because I had a chance to cover Bethlehem last year, and I know you did many times as well, Devin. Santi Moar sort of started 2018, did not really seem like he was a priority for the organization until this week. But Coach Burke reiterated to us, he is very much in the mix. We want to see him play. Is down now. Richie Ryan is shaken up as a couple players collided.
You can see Richie Ryan just coming over, and that's a rough challenge by both guys. Eric Aiyuk just coming on, and just as he's tracking over, coming across, outstretched, catches it on the leg, falls a little bit gingerly on that left side. Get the wind knocked out of him, a little bit of a hip pointer. You're going to see both trainers respectively stepping on. FC Cincinnati is going to go look at Aaron Powell to look for a little bit of assistance, and Bethlehem Steel and their technical staff. You saw him just a second ago. Good look at it. Akira Umeki, head athletic trainer, getting these guys nursed back to health.
Aiyuk was first to get up. Not sure who got the worst of that collision. I think it was Richie Ryan.
Oh, Aiyuk, he catches the knee coming across, and his cleats also stick into the ground. Lucky he doesn't turn an angle in that situation.
I don't believe we're going to see any discipline here, Devin. You hear some of the voices down on the field saying that has got to be at least a card. I don't think we're going to get it here.
Something that was reiterated many a time and after my 50-50 challenges.
Richie Ryan comes from Miami FC. The Irishman also played for Ottawa Fury earlier in his career. This is his second stint in the USL, and right now he's trying to stay loose after taking one to the inside of his knee. Abadawi now. Comes near side. Here's Justin Hoyt. Dan Haber. Over to Hoyt. Hoyt with a little room to work. And that pass not going to make it through, as Catalano was waiting for it. Cincinnati establishing some pace here. Little flick. Haber inside the 18. Couldn't collect. Justin Hoyt there, right back to Haber. I'll tell you what, Bethlehem's defense inside the box has been pretty solid all day long.
Extremely organized. You can really see how that 4-2-3-1 has come into play, counteracting the opposition for FC Cincinnati. Good job tucking in on the sides and keeping compact in the back. Their holding midfielders have really done well organizing the spacing in the middle of the field.
Derek Jones tried to get a pass through there. Well, ESPN Plus is the new streaming home of the USL in the United States. We invite you to watch all the action through the 2018 regular season and USL Cup playoffs on ESPN Plus. Visit uslsoccer.com for more details. And USL Game of the Week. You see the following games on ESPN3. Thrilled to have ESPN along to just grow the exposure, Devin, of this league, what is the largest second division league in the entire world.
That's exactly what needs to happen here in the United States to continue growth for this great sport. The beautiful game, the world's game, as they like to call it.
Oh, careless giveaway there. Corey Burke with a chance. He's held, tries to go far post with it, and misses just wide.
Well, all the praise to the world to Corey Burke in the first half, showing great ingenuity, excellent speed, doing a lot of things in transition and combination play. And like you said, an absolute gift. Richie Ryan caught in La La Land after that tackle moments ago. You got to finish there, Corey Burke. And again, it's the decision making. He has the opportunity to go ahead and put something on frame, doesn't do it, much like we saw from Anthony Fontana in the first half. Saw it once from Santi Moar as well. Gotta wonder what sort of finishing drills they're working on over there.
Yeah, Catalano had a great opportunity. Fontana did, Moar did, and now Corey Burke is added to the list. Steeler gonna go back and look at this film. And I'm telling you, Devin, they're going to be kicking themselves.
They're going to look at it no matter what. Just hopefully they're not looking at it from a negative standpoint, wondering how they were able to let FC Cincinnati creep back in and either knot it up and grab a point or maybe even get out of here with 3 points. All those opportunities, like you said, are going to be very fresh in their mind at the end of this match.
Boyd sends it forward now. See if FC Cincinnati can make Bethlehem pay for all of the missed chances. Welshman. Back to Hoyt. Justin Hoyt crosses this one over. Al-Badawi with a shot. And this one deflected. Didn't get a clean foot on it. Well, it should be a corner kick coming up.
And that's where communication comes in from the back line and John McCarthy. That ball played in. Prosper Chula doing a good job tracking back, but heads it right back into the middle of the field and gives FC Cincinnati an opportunity to get on the end of it.
This one sent a little bit far outside the 6. And right there is Chuluya to clear it. Cincinnati sends another one in. Header set up right in front of the 6, and a great job by McCarthy to get a hand on it. Al-Badawi tries to keep the run alive. Top of the 18, the shot, and there's McCarthy again with a brilliant denial.
And there's another one right down the middle. And the first one from Prosper. It's all about communication, making sure you're organized. He needs to flick that over his shoulder, get out of bounds. John McCarthy stepping up. I know it's difficult making that challenge, but if you're going to punch, you need to throw your full force behind it. Come with intent, come with purpose. Make sure you get a clearance. Instead, the ball bounces around, ends up at Welshman's feet, and gets an opportunity and a pretty decent shot on goal as well.
So McCarthy under fire over the last few minutes and answering the bell. Emery Welshman continuing to set up chances for the visitors. Corey Burke tries to head upfield, goes down, trying to draw the contact, looking up, and not going to get a whistle there.
He's got a legitimate argument and a case to be made there. Unfortunate for Corey Burke, he doesn't get the whistle in his direction. Interesting challenge from FC Cincinnati, but when you come behind someone's shoulder like that, you almost expect it to go your way automatically.
Oh, nice move by Marcus Epps. Epps tries to send it right, leads a little bit too far though, looking for Eric Ayuk. We've seen so many quality chances today, Devin. We should have more goals on the board on both sides. Just has not happened yet. This match still very much up for grabs.
Shocked to say that in the 58th minute, we're sitting at 1-0, which is crazy. Again, it's not just tiny little deflections or chances. These have been golden opportunities, almost sitters right in front of the goal. See the likes of Corey Burke, Santi Moar, and Anthony Fontana, almost gifts in some of their opportunities. On the other side of the ball, FC Cincinnati, Emery Welshman has had a couple looks here and there, Corbin Bone. At some point in time, the tension's going to continue to mount, and much like a dam ready to break, it'll boil over. It will happen for someone. We're just hoping it's for the boys in blue.
Fontana goes down as Ledesma tripped him up. Wind starting to pick up at Goodman Stadium. Drew Felios and Devin Kerr approaching the 60th minute here in Bethlehem. And the Steel trying to get their second win of the season and add to their 4 points. Meanwhile, it's the 4th regular season game for FC Cincinnati. Wins over Charleston and Indy 11, but an emotional match last week for Louisville City does not go in their favor as they fall 1-0 in front of over 25,000 FC Cincinnati fans. Much different scene set here today, trying to come back from that 1-goal deficit. Here's Chaluya now attacking for the Steel. Puts the hand up trying to draw the contact. Boehner right there with him. Santi Moar comes in. And still, finally, we have a stoppage.
You can hear the frustration by the Steel fans. Both the guys kind of pushing and prodding down there in the corner. Santi Moar comes in a little bit late.
Marcus Epps, right side. Epps, such an exciting player to watch. Sends it straight on. Moar trying to square one up from a little bit outside the 18, about 10 feet out, and it sails left. Well, Select is the official soccer bowl of the USL. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit SelectSportsAmerica.com. That's SelectSportsAmerica.com. Receive free shipping on orders over $50.
It's always frustrating as a player for Santi Moar there. Marcus Epps doing a good job on the right side, and he slowed things down. Gives his troops an opportunity to move into the final third, and locates Moar sitting at the top of the box, and he has to hit it with enough pace to split the defense and get it there. But when it does, it's coming so fast that Santi, all he can do is hit it with his instep. It's one of those ones that you'd love to take a secondary touch, but if you do, you're going to be closed down immediately.
Cincinnati not going to get a chance to keep this ball in. So it'll be a goal kick for McCarthy and Bethlehem. Talked about the steal and how many different starting lineups we've seen this year. Last week, 9 Union players started that match as they battled Charleston to a 1-1 draw. That is 9 players. That is simply amazing.
9 players from the first team, MLS caliber. It shows you the benefits and the rewards that you can really reap in systems and situations like this.
And hold this one up. But in this game, probably more than any other game, probably more so than in basketball or football or baseball, of course, you could put the greatest talent on the field, Devin. They don't mesh together. It's just not going to work, is it?
The supporting cast and the tactics that you have in place definitely come into play. You got to make sure that you have your guys well prepped for exactly what you're going to do, what your game plan is. Unfortunately for Brendan Burke, that game plan has had to shift quite often here this afternoon. Dealing with the injury of Brendan Aronson in the opening 20-25 minutes or so. He gets subbed off and you bring on a holding midfielder in Mike Catalano and you move Anthony Fontana up, which tactically makes sense. But then you force your hand with Josh Yarrow as well, who again, we expected that he wasn't going to make that. And so now you're left with one change if need be.
Lance Lang will come in now. Matt Boehner will head off. Lance Lang was a little bit dinged up in training this past Tuesday, Devin, but should be good to go right now. 12 caps for the Jamaican national team and had a short stint last season with North Carolina FC. Ball won back by Chaluya. Chaluya's been active today. Burke now, another flick. He's done that well today. Marcus Epps right there. Back to Burke. Santi Moar gets involved. Playing inside the 18 now. Bethlehem threatening. Marcus Epps. Lots of action starting to develop right in front of the Cincinnati goal.
When Lance Lang's going to play on the left side of the pitch, usually plays on in the midfield area, and he can play some left back as well. So what they've done is brought him onto the left. They've taken Justin Hoyt from the left back position, moved him over to the right-hand side. So that's going to be an interesting matchup to see he and Santi Moar go head-to-head.
Handball called on Moar. Ball came right up off his foot. So Evan Newton now sets things up. Evan Newton, the goalie today for FC Cincinnati. Acquired from the Sacramento Republic. Spent the last 2 years there. And he really won the fan vote for USL Player of the Month. Got 48% of the ballots.
And for Evan, he's got so much experience. He's played in the MLS, USL, PDL, and some stints with Arizona United, OKC. An Old Dominion product. Very prevalent back there. Shows good presence. Pretty fashionable as well. I've seen his post on Twitter. I know what he's working with. I've seen the suit game.
Yeah, very popular player. Derek Jones. Always great too when you can come into a community like Cincinnati immediately. The fan base acknowledges what you are doing, recognize it. They start to flood the ballot boxes for awards and honors like that. Got to make you feel great.
Well, the Pride will jump behind you right away, and they've got so many great supporter groups over there. Diane Inchnot, the Legion, the Den. We talked about the Pride. As they like to say, we don't mess around. Fortunately, a little bit more work here left to do this evening, and 25 minutes left.
Another player goes down on the far side, and this is going to bring out the first discipline. that we have had this afternoon. Chiluya is going to be yellowed.
And both Prosper and Santi are asking the assistant referee to take a look and have a little discussion. Unfortunately, the lobbying is not going to continue as he's going to go into the book, and you're going to get another look here. Just steps in. Yeah, I can understand it. Going studs up on Ledesma. Sometimes referees, you force their hand because even though the tackle itself isn't that rough, maybe you don't get that much of an abrasion off of it. It is the intent. And they do say this is the gentleman's game, and that's ungentlemanly conduct.
So the Argentinian is up. Looks like he is okay. Maybe just a tad dramatic that time going down.
Never seen that happen before in a match like this.
Never have either. 66th minute. And Lance Lang fighting for position inside the 18. Decent ball sent on. McCarthy again there to get his hands on it.
That's a dangerous ball. Swung in. On left foot, and you saw McCarthy go to ground and gingerly stretching, getting up. He caught his knee in the ground a little bit. Head referee Amber O'Connor blowing the whistle, sending it the other direction. But you're going to see as he whips this ball in, just going to ground, and yeah, catches a little knock with big center back Forrest Lasso.
Pitch is a little soft here today, as we've had rain throughout the day. Now Santi Moar trying to catch up to it that time, but the ball is won by Justin Hoyt. Starting to see the visitors play with more of a chip on their shoulder. FC Cincinnati trying to get a goal back here. Send it to the opposite side. Haber couldn't collect. Welshman does, though. Now it's Haber. Play this one right down the middle. And ball won by Bethlehem. Marcus Epps. Just sense the intensity being turned up a few notches here. We play on. Lance Lang attacking. A little bit of space here for Ledesma to work with. Ledesma very active this afternoon, sends one in, and it's right into the hands of McCarthy.
Like you said, Drew, the boys of FC Cincinnati starting to play with that chip on their shoulder, and motion starting to run rampant a little bit. You can hear Amber O'Connor, our head referee, barking some orders, and everybody on the match just settled down. Saw Corey Burke getting down to the corner and going one-on-one with the center back and the left back, Lance Lang. Forrest Lasso, respectively.
FC Cincinnati looking for a spark here. Will it come from Lance Lang? Aubrey sends it out. And throwing on the far side now for the visitors.
It's good stuff from Brandon Aubrey. You saw everybody kind of shifting as the ball made its way inside and outside, and the center back just shifting over to the left side, helping out Prosper over there. Good defending.
Aubrey's had a nice game. Brandon Aubrey, the former Notre Dame Fighting Irish. And FC Cincinnati back to work. Attacking from the left flank now. This service sent in. Oh, the header designed outside the 6. And the shot again high. Ledesma is going to want that one back.
Well, just one after another. They're being funneled in here, down into the channel. Good ball from Richie Ryan. Overlapping run on the left side. And the substitute, Lance Lang, floating a nice one into the middle of the box. Difficult to do on transition as Bethlehem Steel track back. And again, just the decision-making ability by everybody going forward. Emmanuel Ledesma does not get over the ball, and he's got a lot of time. He's got to put his laces on that, keep his body down.
Oh, high kick that time. Eric Ayuk. And Haber looked like he was struck in the face. You know, Haber not really known to react like that. I think that's certainly a scary moment there.
You can see the frustration by Haber as Corey Burke steps over and tries to play the Switzerland role of sorts. Frustrating for sure. For Daniel Haber on the left-hand side. It's been a frustrating day in general, but the substitute, Eric Ayuk, so I'm just kind of stepping in. No harm, no foul. I didn't mean to hurt him.
Cincinnati near the 6 and put in finally. Nazmi Al-Badawi finally getting FC Cincinnati on the board. '71st minute, and we knew it was coming.
Well, you could feel it. The tension was mounting for both sides. Not a lot of opportunities for Bethlehem going forward, but Cincinnati continuously making their way down into the final third. And a good job on the restart, off the foul on Daniel Haber. Again, we talked about emotions running rampant. Ball moved out. Justin Hoyt putting in excellent service again. And sure enough, Emery Welshman getting the tiniest little touch on it. Playing the catalyst and getting the assist on Nazmi Al-Badawi's goal, and he's able to put it behind, and we're knotted up at 1.
Cincinnati goal scored by number 5, Nazmi Al-Badawi. Goal scored in the 72nd minute.
Steele trying to counter here quickly. Marcus Epps. Derek Jones surrounded by defenders.
And Derek Jones just kind of ran out of steam coming down. You know, one after another, trying to go one-on-one. Couldn't make anything happen as he pushed it back outside. Good job by Lance Lang. Two big bodies going at it. It's kind of the ones you like and just see you try and knock it off, get a corner, and regroup, restructure, unable to do so.
Well, from the pitch, where you can hear exclusive stories directly from the USL's players and USLsoccer.com's From the Pitch, with written and video content providing unfiltered access and a first-person look into the professional game and players' everyday lives. Again, From the Pitch, USLsoccer.com. Equalized at 1 here in Bethlehem. Drew Felios and Devin Kerr as we enter the 74th minute. Ball won by the visitors. Corbin Bone leading the charge. Cut off. Anthony Fontana has been quiet as of late, trying to make something happen here. Played out of the center circle now. Here's Haber. Haber took a shot to the face just a few minutes ago. His team responded with their first goal of the match. Set for another Cincinnati substitution as Danny Koenig gets loose on the far side. Steele look a little bit frustrated right now, Devin. Some players unable to stay on their feet. They also look a little bit fatigued at the moment.
I'd be frustrated as well. Marcus Epps doing a good job maintaining possession. Plays a nice ball into Corey Burke, who kind of gets knocked off his feet from behind.
Cincinnati looks a little bit more energized here in the 75th as Ayuk keeps it in bounds. Derek Jones from the center circle. Fontana. And they'll pick it up Corey Burke throws it in. And just not much help for Bethlehem right now. I think they look a little bit disjointed. And our substitute gets ready to come in, as we are going to see number 11, Danny Koenig.
I'm not surprised by the substitution at all. We expected something like this to come. Fortunately enough for FC Cincinnati, they were able to get a goal back. Again, Welshman doing a good job getting that vital touch to assist on the goal to Abadawi. Danny Koenig going to come on, and make no mistake about it, Alan Koch is not about to pull off the throttle. He's going to downshift a little bit here and try and put a little bit more RPMs into his team. Going to go for the game winner. Jump back to your comment a second ago, Drew, talking about a little bit lethargic in their efforts. I'm not sure how much gas left in the tank they have. You have to wonder, Brendan Burke using his subs, does he have the opportunity to make one more that can help get his team the winning goal? Putting together some solid performances, struggling here in the second half. They've succeeded a boatload of possession. Sitting right around 60-40 right now. Again, they're still in this. Still time left to get the game winner.
Doing a lot of chasing as well. Now Badawi sends it upfield. Cincinnati, the aggressor at the moment. Koenig over to Haber. Haber gets it inside the 18 and has it taken away this time by Ayouk. Those two have battled all afternoon long. Ayouk goes down though, and Abadawi tries to send one in, and careful that time. That had the makings of what could have been an own goal. Chaluya tried to get his head on it. Corner kick coming up for FC Cincinnati. Ball delivered a little low. Santi Moar heads it off. Lance Lang. And this one off the head of Burke. We're going to have another corner, and for Bethlehem, Brandon Allen, who's got 2 goals on the season, going to be inserted here late.
And right on cue, Brendan Burke stepping in and looking for a little bit of help up top. He's going to move Brandon Allen out. You have to wonder, is Corey Burke going to stay isolated up top, or is he going to put the fresh legs of Brandon Allen up top and move Burke out to the right side? We're going to find out here in a second, as those system players do a good job of being versatile and moving around.
It looked like we had a corner kick. Does not appear to be the case now. And was somebody carded? It looked like.
Unfortunately there, Amber Connor had a difficult decision to make. The far linesman
wasn't offside.
Yeah, putting the flag up a little bit late, blowing offside.
Well, a little bit late.
I was being polite.
Marcus Epps a little frustrated. Players continuing to jaw at each other. And here we go. Brandon Allen, 24-year-old, 2 goals this season, former New York Red Bull, will come in for the Bethlehem Steel. And this Steel substitution brought to you by Lehigh Valley Health Network. Lehigh Valley Health Network, proud sponsor of the Bethlehem Steel.
And this is someone who's been an excellent addition for the squad. Again, such a prevalent career at Georgetown. Dropping 17 assists, 50 goals in 91 appearances. That is a staggering number for the former 3-time All-American. He's also a Herman Award finalist, a Red Bull homegrown player, and dropped off a little bit. Capped for the U20s a few times. Unfortunately, his form has faltered a little bit in the recent years, trying to get his career back on track. I think if he's going to do it, this is the place to do so.
Meanwhile, Jimmy McLaughlin enters for Cincinnati. Dan Haber goes to the sideline. And for Jimmy McLaughlin, number 20, he is actually a former Philadelphia Union player, so back at home as Cincinnati attacks. McCarthy there to get in the way of what could have been the second goal of the day for Al-Badawi.
You can't believe it, an untimely turnover from the mainstay of the back line, Brandon Aubrey. Very fortunate that that doesn't turn disfortunate for him. And right on point, exactly what I thought would happen with Bethlehem. So they've taken Corey Burke and moved him out onto the right-hand side, and that's something to keep an eye on because you're going to get fresh legs up top in Brandon Allen. You're going to get another look at what just happened. Ball moving to the left side. Brandon Aubrey just slips, turns it over, and you've got a one-on-one for Nazmi. And he goes for the cheeky little chip over John McCarthy, but proving he's up to the task. So as Corey Burke steps out onto the right-hand side, Alan Koch says, you know what, you want to make that move? Watch this. He brings on Jimmy McLaughlin, who most likely is going to be playing on the left, and sure enough, there he is. So the fresh legs of McLaughlin going up the 80-minute tired legs of Corey Burke.
Anthony Fontana leading this run. Santi Mowar, quiet as of late. Fontana and Mowar. So fun to watch these two work together. Final third, though, broken up. And right back, Cincinnati getting a lot of open space to work with here in the second half. Ledesma to the left side. McLaughlin right there. And that is called out of bounds. So good opportunity. I mentioned Jimmy McLaughlin, former Philadelphia Union player. He's in here late. And also Brandon Allen, guy who feels like he should have had a better shot at MLS. Brandon Allen with a chance to change this match. But this game today, even though it is one apiece, Devin, has been all about missed opportunities on both sides. Which team can make up for that here in the final 10 minutes of play?
Unfortunately for Corey Burke, time and time again, he's kind of put himself in the path of our head referee, as he has no problem going toe-to-toe with the big Forrest Lasso. Unfortunately, Brendan Burke is going to have a few words with Corey Burke, settle him down in the closing moments of this game. He's going to go into the book and grab a yellow card. Again, vital minutes ticking off the clock.
Situation like that, two guys going nose to nose. Does the official need to take more initiative getting between them and sort of cooling things?
Where we're at, it's a good question. Where we're at in the game right now, definitely not. Got to let the boys, give them a little bit of leeway, let them play. If things start to progress, become a little bit more hot emotionally, then she can step in. But as of right now, they're doing well.
I take it, Devin, you love those moments when you played.
My favorite. Yeah, always lobbying for the center backs for sure.
84th minute now. Oh, nice touch that time. Sets up the pass by McLaughlin as he entered the 18. Well, talked about the missed opportunities today. There was another, but there have been several from point-blank range that have just been failed to be capitalized on by both teams.
Yeah, good service from Justin Hoyt all night long. There's another look at Fontana and his inability to put something on. And again, just lackadaisical in the thought process. Santi Mowar missing. Another great ball floated in. And how about this from Ledesma? Just a sitter with his left foot multiple times. All these guys got to do is stay composed and put something on. Even give your guys an opportunity to get a rebound of sorts, but no one can even put it in between the pipes.
Justin Hoyt sets us up for the set piece. Coach Burke wondering about that last whistle as we are in the stretch run. See which team wants it most. Likely that is what this match is going to come down to. Brandon Allen wearing number 40, inserted into the game late. Here's the service in. Burke was in the neighborhood. Newton comes down with it though.
And that's just tired legs. In the 85th minute, Corey Burke's been isolated up top all by himself, doing a boatload of work. Moving left, moving right, and as the ball gets floated in, just doesn't have enough gasoline left in the tank to make that last-ditch effort. Good service, though, from the left, coming back over to the middle of the field.
Derek Jones now. Bit of a second win for Jones. From the left flank, a couple defenders come over to help. Here's Santi Moar. Bethlehem able to keep possession. Catalano. Corey Burke scored the first goal of the match belonging to Bethlehem. There's contact there. And Richie Ryan with the foul.
And classy by Derek Jones moments ago. Again, he's been kind of been the defensive stalwart for Bethlehem Steel today. Doing a great job of that holding midfielder position, stepping up, moving offensively, and Corey Burke with the quick feet. Just getting away from Richie Ryan. He's been out of sorts ever since that collision we saw earlier in the game. This is going to be a good opportunity for the Steel. Just right around 27, 28 yards out. Keep an eye on Evan Newton. He's going to construct a 3-4-man wall. He's going to go with 4. We see Anthony Fontana standing over the ball. You wonder if he's going to have a go from distance. Not a real long run up. Watch for a little chip to the back post.
Fontana, a little bit too high that time.
And it's going to take something special to beat Evan Newton General, yet alone from that distance. You want to hit something with curl on it. Better come with something a little bit more special than that.
Anthony Fontana had the assist on the lone goal of the match by the Steel as he hooked up with Corey Burke. 15 minutes in. Bethlehem running out of chances here late. This was one where they really felt like they had a great shot at 3 points. You can just watch Coach Burke over on that far side. He is very active right now, pointing people in the right direction. Brandon Allen attacking. Put a lot of air under this one. Burke comes over. Spikes a little high that time. Now in the 88th minute. Derek Jones. Bethlehem controlling the pace at the moment. Catalano. Holds things up. Now it's Burke.
And you can hear Burke on the sideline he's saying time, patience, telling his youngsters, don't rush this. We have this nice spell of possession. Keep it here. Make FC Cincinnati work back. Don't want to turn it over like that. Late challenge coming in on Prosper. But again, just stay composed in the closing moments of this game. Number one, you don't want to give anything up to Cincinnati to give them an opportunity to steal 3 points, which we talked about. And most importantly, with this spell of possession, give yourself an opportunity to find the back of the net.
That's Prosper Chaluya. Oh, Ledesma came in very late that time.
That's a late tackle from Ledesma for sure, and surprised that our referee hasn't gone to the book as he cleaned his clock and gonna catch a nice little Charlie horse on that left knee thigh area. She's consulting with the 4th official. Time, how much left over, exactly what went on in the play. Again, so close to the scoreboard table over there on the side.
Chaluya going to be helped off. And question, can he continue here in the final minutes?
Unfortunately for Brendan Burke, he's got to. He's got no more subs available,
Sure.
So you're going to be down a man or you're going to have someone walking a little around.
Oh, with the hands up, Brandon Allen says, where's the contact? Does not get a whistle. Ayuk will throw it in for the steal. Looked like possible handball on that last possession. I think that was That's what Brandon Allen was chirping about.
Difficult to see from the angle, but Bethlehem keep them pinned in here. Probably going to have, as you see, 4-minute stoppage time, so still an opportunity to get out of here and gain 3 points. But again, stay strong, stay composed. Oh, clever from Richie Ryan.
Wind picks up here at Goodman Stadium. FC Cincinnati trying to get the go-ahead goal here. Santi Moar runs back to try and collect. Kanon right on top of it, though. Cincinnati should have some numbers here. Lance Lang very calmly taking it upfield. And lots of room to work with on the right side of the 18. Al-Badawi on that side. Could not control possession, though. Al-Badawi right on top of him is Aubrey. And Steele send it the other way. Brandon Allen trying to make something happen. Steele wanted that one out of bounds. Don't get the call, we play on. Now it's McLaughlin, the late sub. McLaughlin sends it to the other side. Steele wanting a handball. Another whistle that never comes. '93rd minute now. Can either team muster a good opportunity here? Could it be Santi Moar? Moar switches field and sends it over to Mike Catalano. And Catalano probably not the ideal guy to have it in that situation.
Well, once again, you've got your holding midfielders stepping up, asking for the opportunity to finish off. And if I'm Brendan Burke, if I'm taking anything away from this game, you've had a pretty decent performance all around, except for finishing. It's something that you're going to have to work on. You saw Catalano on the left. You also got Fontana on the right. And Santi Moar, known for his decision-making ability, it definitely has not been on display here this evening.
Anthony Fontana. Will he make the right decision? Looking for Corey Burke. Ball was tied up there. Burke had a shot at it. And now the steal. Still with possession. Fontana, right side. Contact inside the 18, and still no whistle. Lance Lang tries to clear it. Bethlehem, a little bit frustrated here in the waning moments. And a little bit, it's probably an understatement.
This game's really opening up here in the final seconds. Bethlehem have to be careful.
Now McLaughlin off the pass from Lane. Inside the 18. And a corner kick coming up as Mahoney deflected it. Probably the final chance here for Cincinnati. McLaughlin, the in-swinger. Ball headed out. Visitors still with possession. Bone with the shot. Oh, that had a chance. And the Wind got a piece of it. John McCarthy put on notice as that ball whizzed right by him.
Well, Corbin Bone had a crack like that in the first half in the opening 10 minutes. Trying to regain a little bit of form and see if he could close it out for him. Unfortunately, unable to do so.
So furious action here in extra time. And that is going to do it as both teams look up at the scoreboard and realize the goals were on the table. They just were not finished. here this afternoon. We'll wrap this game up from Bethlehem, FC Cincinnati and Bethlehem Steel, a 1-1 draw. Corey Burke and company with the 1 point. We'll size things up and wrap it up when we come back.
Kleckner & Sons asks, what do you want in new appliances? Do you want GE's gas, electric, convection, induction, stainless steel, Slate, French door, Energy Star, top load, front load, high efficiency, or huge capacity?
GE and GE Profile appliances are designed to reflect the modern approach to style, with clean lines and a streamlined look for today's kitchens.
At Kleckner & Sons.
It can happen over time or in a snap. If joint or muscle pain has taken you out of the game, we can identify the root cause of your problem and develop a sport-specific treatment plan to get you moving again. Over 400 medical experts strong, the region's only nationally ranked program. That's Orthopedics in Action at Lehigh Valley Health Network.
Nazmi Al-Badawi registering a goal for FC Cincinnati as the visitors able to equalize in the 71st minute. And that is where we would stand the rest of the way. Corey Burke had a goal for Bethlehem Steel in the 15th minute. And it's a 1-1 draw. Both teams coming out with a point. Drew Felios alongside Devin Kerr. This was a match all about missed opportunities. Early on, though, Bethlehem Steel, a great opportunity there as Corey Burke gets the gorgeous chip.
Yeah, we talked about this at halftime. Just a nice ball in. Great little touch by Brendan Aronson. It's a little flick over. Anthony Fontana goes for goal. Corey Burke realizes that it's not going to find the back of the net. Instead, has a great deflection into the bottom corner. And the boys in blue were off at 1-1-0.
Brendan Aronson, unfortunately, had to head out of the match a few minutes later, headed to a local hospital. Hopefully he is okay. Meanwhile, Cincinnati tried to get back in this game, and they put John McCarthy on notice many, many times throughout.
An eventual goal scorer, Nazmi Al-Badawi, plays a good ball outside to Justin Hoyt, gets knocked back in, has an opportunity with his instep, puts it over the bar, and that was the prevalent theme in this game for both squads. Coming down the other end, Fontana, decision-making, should I go this way, should I go that? Ends up going with his left, puts it off the sidebar, and then again another one, played into the back post to Ledesma. All the time in the world. This is simple stuff. Off the chest, just put it on the frame. Can't do so. And Bethlehem Steel were able to escape in the first half of 1-0. As things continued in the second, FC Cincinnati just pushing. You could feel the envelope ready to rip open. And sure enough, great service. Hoyt switching from the left side in the first half to the right in the second. Good ball in. Could not clear it off. And a good job by Nazmi Al-Badawi slotting it away. And the visitors were able to knot it up at 1.
And that is how we would end the final minutes. Very emotional on both sides. Shots edge belongs to Cincinnati. Possession to the visitors as well. For Bethlehem, though, we really got a chance to see the individual talent of all these great players, and we saw why the Philadelphia Union are so high on these youngsters.
Well, and unfortunately for us, they showed us great football for about 65 minutes, and then from there, the torpidness just started to come into play, the attrition taking over mind and body. They gave up possession. You see the shots starting to mount up, and they just played into Cincinnati's hands. It kind of turned into a track meet of sorts, end-to-end stuff, which is exciting from a viewership standpoint. But if you're Brendan Burke, you don't want to see your boys isolated like that. You want them to stay more composed, hold more possession going forward.
Oh, that's a great point. Got to do it for 90 and got to play for each other out there on the pitch. Bethlehem continues to be a work in progress. So the season rolls on for the Bethlehem Steel. Corey Burke notching his second goal here today as Bethlehem, their next match They'll take on Louisville City April 28th. They'll have a week off, and then in 13 days, Louisville will be waiting as they'll meet the defending champions of the USL. Hope you enjoyed it. For Devin Kerr, I'm Drew Felios. Bethlehem and FC Cincinnati battle to a 1-1 draw. So long, everybody, and have a great Sunday.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League may not be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.